I got my Care Bear with me today. He's not very fluffy. I want a soft Care Bear. Hey guys, it's Carrie. Today is day 13 of NaNoWriMo. The word count for today is 21,666 words. I am at 17,317 words. So, getting there. I start to write a couple thousand, and then a new day starts and I'm like consistently 4,000 behind. Ugh. Did not get a whole lot of writing done. I did some today, but not a whole lot because my puppy was distracting me. I didn't want her chewing on my computer cord, so I left it up here and I just played with her until my parents came home, and now I'm up here trying to get some writing done. But then I remembered I got tagged to do a tag, so I figured I would do that as part of my video today. I was tagged to do the How a Book is Made tag. I was tagged on Twitter by the writing mime who created the tag, and I will link her video below. I was also tagged by Caitlin, and I will link her channel below so you guys can see her videos. And Caitlin is actually one of my pen pals that I met through NaNoWriMo, and we started exchanging letters and now on social media last November. So definitely recommend you guys check her out. She's really sweet. So let's get on with the tag. Question number 1. Should you participate in NaNoWriMo to write a book? Yeah. I think so. I mean, it's helped me a lot to force myself to discipline myself to write. This year being kind of an exception because I have been falling behind, but in prior times, last November, prime example, when I really started hunkering down and doing it seriously, and then when I did the 2 camps this year in July and April, I managed to complete my first novel. Question 2, self-publishing or traditional? I'm, as of yet, unpublished, but I'm saving up money to self-publish. I don't want to wait. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it myself. Question 3. Write one idea at a time or all the ideas at once? Depends on what you're doing. If you're doing several standalones, if you're doing the series, I've written down several ideas to group into different books. It really just depends on what you're doing. What genre is easiest to write? I'd say fantasy. Because it can be so open, you can really do anything you want to do in it. It's a very open thing you can work with, and you can just let your imagination run crazy. Where do you need to write to get work done? For me, it depends on the mood I'm in. If I just want to be by myself, I come up here and sit on my bed, or I'll go to a coffee shop and sit there with my headphones on and my Pandora station on, and I'll just write away. Sometimes I go to a write-in at a local Panera Bread. It's usually the second Thursday of the month for the group that I go to, and then during NaNoWriMo they do every Thursday, but because of choir practice and we're starting to work on things for Thanksgiving, I have been unable to attend. And then there's also Tuesday nights when I go to the bowling alley and watch my boyfriend bowl, and I'll write there. Where do you find your inspiration? TV, other books, movies. I mentioned in my previous video I was a big Buffy fan, so a lot of that. Doctor Who, I like Sailor Moon, so that's kind of some of the inspiration in for some of my characters. And then some of my travels, I got the idea for the small town that I'm basing my story in called Coolersville. It's in Ohio, which is my home state, but I'm kind of modeling it on Eugene, Oregon, which is the city my best friend lives. And it's kind of a small town with a college in it. It's not a major university in my story, but it's still a college. And when I went there, it's kind of my way of never leaving, because I kind of didn't want to come home when I visited there 2 years ago. So, but I will be back. What age do you start writing? I say as long as you're able to hold a pen. You don't even have to be able to write. You can draw stories. Little kids can make little doodle books and then learn to write from there. It's all a matter of having the ability to foster that creativity, letting them know it's okay to have that creative outlet. I was very fortunate to have that support with my family. They always knew I loved to write, so whenever I was switch majors or something, they wanted to write a book or something like that. So I think as young as possible. What's easier to write? Short stories, standalone series, poetry, etc. Never been one for poetry. Short stories are okay. I've written a couple. Some of them being fan fiction. Fan fiction is a hit or miss. There was one story that I wrote that was really easy for me to write. I wrote that last summer, and I actually incorporated some of my novel characters into it, and I'm actually going to rework some of the details so I can have it as a freebie on my website. Do you mill your books like a factory or take years to write one? Since this current series that I'm working on has been the first one that I've actually finished, I say take as long as it takes to write one. and as long as it takes to write it and finish it and make it good. If that takes years, then that takes years. If that takes 6 months, it takes 6 months. It all depends. Next question is, how fast can you type? Not very fast. I've never actually tested it, and I know I go slower when I'm copying things. If I'm just going off the top of my head, I could probably do pretty fast, but not like 100 words a minute like Donna Noble. Do you write in the dark or in the light? I like the light. The dark makes me want to be sleepy. That's why I hate when it gets dark at like 5 o'clock now. It just makes me want to go to bed. Handwritten or typed? Preferably typed. I will bring sheets of notebook paper with me just about wherever I go, so I can write stuff down, jot down notes. A lot of my notes are handwritten, but an actual draft I prefer typed because I have really scratchy handwriting. Alone or with someone else? Also depends on the kind of mood I'm in. I've mentioned going to the bowling alley and watching my boyfriend bowl, and of course that's crowded with people, and I'm talking with people, and either with my boyfriend himself or some of his teammates, and one of the guys, his girlfriend, comes all the time, so I talk with her. One of my friends who's a comic book artist, we have our own write-ins. I like going to, I've mentioned the write-in at Panera, which is the Cleveland NaNoWriMo group. Any typing hacks? Not really. Sorry. Are you already published? Not yet. But I will be. As soon as I save up the money, I will have my first one published. Possibly late spring, depending on how fast I do my taxes and get the money. Because I'm really kind of banking on my tax refund to pay for this. And then it'll take like 3 months, I think, according to what they told me from CreateSpace. So I'm hoping sometime in the spring, possibly late spring. So we shall see. It'd be cool if I could release a book on my birthday. That'd be fun. When did you consider being an author? Who, why, how? My friend Lisa, who is a wonderful artist, has been working on her comic book, and she's been posting it online for a number of years. And we were out to lunch one time, lunch or dinner, I don't remember, but we were out and we were talking, and we were talking about how we're kind of stuck in jobs that we don't like. They pay the bills well enough, but it's not something we want to do for the rest of our lives. So we both decided to try harder at working on something we're passionate about. She likes her art. I love to write. It's something we always circle back to. So we decided to try it out and see. And that's when we started our own write-ins at either at restaurants or her apartment or something. And sometimes we get her mom involved. So, how many books do you have in draft form? Well, there's the first book in my series that I have in draft form, and once NaNoWriMo is over, I'll have the second one, so 2. Outline or pantsit? Who did I just start following that had a really good description for both? Oh, Burgess Taylor. I just started following her recently. I'll link her channel below too. She described herself as a plotster, which is plot to a certain degree and then pants it for the rest of it. Because you gotta prepare for those unpredictable times when you're going along and all of a sudden you get an idea in your head and your fingers start flowing and something completely unexpected happens. Like one of the characters in your head is probably looking at your outline going, no, I don't want to do that. I'm going to go that way. I'm going to go right instead of left, even though you told me to go left. So, yeah, you can't completely prepare for those times, but you gotta know that they happen. So, do a little bit of both. Favorite note-keeping strategy? Lots of loose leaf paper. Take it everywhere I go. I also have my phone, but that doesn't do a whole lot because I don't like really typing on it, and I can barely keep the battery for more than a day anyway. As you can see, it's plugged in. Scrap pieces of paper, notebooks, whatever. Just have something with you to write something down when inspiration strikes all the time. What do you think about writing in a different genre? I think it might be fun to write a historical fiction one day, because I'm such a history buff, but that really requires a lot of research. I mean, you still to a point you have to research in fantasy too, but a whole lot more you can leave to your imagination. So I think maybe one of these days I'll, if I can come up with something good enough, I'd like to write some historical fiction. My dad also suggested a kind of a historical paranormal story about the ghosts of famous people returning to various landmarks, like having someone who could see them. Somebody comes back to an area that they used to live in and say they were a millionaire, and the neighborhood that they lived in is all slummy and run down now. What would they think? You know, that kind of thing. And then trying to figure out modern life or something. He had all of these ideas and pitched it to me one time. Maybe we could collaborate on something like that. That is the How a Book is Made book tag. I don't really know who else has been tagged. And I don't know a whole lot of people on YouTube personally, so I'm just throwing it out there. Anyone who wants to do it can do it. And if you want to leave your link in the comments, go ahead and do it. I'd love to check out your video. So I will have another video up probably Monday, Sunday or Monday, depending on how I work, because I won't be home tomorrow night or Saturday night. And that's it. I'm gonna get me some writing done, because I don't want to be consistently behind anymore. I gotta get ahead if I'm gonna finish before Thanksgiving, because the clock is winding down. It is 2 weeks till Thanksgiving, and I work in retail, so it's just gonna get more and more busy and freaking insane at work. So bye.